All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the prep show series. Today is Sunday morning. As you can probably tell and hear, hopefully this doesn't sound horrible. I am getting some steps in on the walking pad right now. Today is going to be a rest day. It's going to be a complete rest day. I'm not going to do any cardio today. I was already scheduled to have a rest day from training, but it's going to be a complete rest day from cardio as well. I'm going to still get my 6,000 steps in, which I'm in the process of doing, and then I'll probably be able to get that organically today, but there isn't going to be any like physical exercise of any kind. If you're watching this video, I'm under the assumption that you watched last week's video, and if you did, then I was kind of getting progressively more fatigued throughout the week. Not only physically fatigued, but mentally fatigued. Last week was a long week, just in a lot of positive ways. Work, training, things are super busy, especially I feel like whenever I'm in prep, things always get really busy and I get super efficient with work and everything, but it can be kind of draining. And so we went out for date night last night, went out to Olive Garden, had some food, and today we are going to go to the movies. We're going to see Avatar, the latest Avatar movie. We're pretty late on this. I think this movie's been out for probably like at least a month or so by now, probably a little bit longer, but we haven't seen it yet. We're a little bit behind on that, but we're going to go see that today. We're going to see that at 12 o'clock. So our movie theater is right next to a shopping mall. I guess it's actually part of the shopping mall, so we'll probably go to the mall before, after the movie, maybe both. Haven't really decided yet, but stayed up a little bit later than normal last night. Didn't get as much sleep last night as what I would get on a typical night. I stayed up later than normal, but I woke up at the same time. I feel like that just kind of happens with me. I feel like it's always been that way. Like once I have a set time that I wake up, my body will always wake up at that time, no matter what time I go to bed. Which, to be fair, I think that's a good thing. Like at least for me, I'm when you're self-employed, like obviously there's going to be some nights where you would like to get a little bit more sleep, but when you're self-employed, there's always something to do. So sometimes if I get a night of poor sleep, I almost consider that like a gift. Like I'm being given free time to get things done. Anyways, gonna go to the mall, to the mall, and we're gonna go to the movies today. And then I'm not really sure what much else we will do. I've been pretty busy this morning. I've been up for a couple of hours already, and have already just kind of gotten all the odd and end stuff done to prep for the upcoming week. Sunday is, the beginning of the calendar week, and I usually use my Sundays to kind of write out my to-do lists and objectives and everything for the upcoming week. I'm a pretty organized person, not to humble brag, but I'm a to-do list writer. And so I kind of do all of that usually on Sundays, and prep some food for the week and everything. So the little odd and end type of chores, I guess that you would consider them. But I have already gotten all of that stuff wrapped up, so we can just go to the movies. And then by the time we come home from the movies and the mall, and then if we decide to do anything else, I don't really have anything that I have to do to get ready for tomorrow or to get ready for the next week. I'm noticing as I'm walking here that as you're looking out this window, it looks like deceptively warm outside. The sun is really bright, and if you're looking out the window, it looks like it's like a summer day. but it's actually really cold. It's like 20 something degrees Fahrenheit this morning in the Chicagoland area, just like crazy cold. But it's just really funny because I was just looking out the window and I was like, man, it looks warm outside. And then I looked back at the camera and I was like, man, it looks warm outside there too. But it's absolutely not. That's a lie. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm looking forward to like just a chill, like relaxing day. I kind of said that to Carissa last night. I was like, we like cannot do anything tomorrow. We need to just take a day to just relax and catch our breath and get ready to do it all again. So looking forward to that. The cardio session that I am not doing today, I will make up tomorrow. It's actually kind of looking as of now that tomorrow is going to be probably like my slowest work day of the week coming up. So what I think I may do is train in the morning and then come home and work. And then by the time I finish up work, Carissa will probably be done with work, and then we'll go to Planet Fitness and do cardio. So I'll still be getting the same total weekly cardio sessions in. Instead of just, doing it today, I'll just pick up with it tomorrow. I really just want a mental break of not going to a gym today, whether it's Planet Fitness or Brick House. I just am not particularly in the mood to go to a gym today. So just want to take a day off for mental purposes. And I do think that is something that's important to note with prep in particular, because especially as you get closer and closer to the show, as fatigue rises, I'm not only talking about physical fatigue, but I'm also talking about mental fatigue. And it's normal in my experience, like with a lot of the clients that I work with, and even with myself, like at certain periods in the prep where I don't want to say you hate or dread going to the gym, but when you don't particularly feel good, there are some days you're not particularly excited to go to the gym and to go train. And sometimes that's physical, and then sometimes that is mental fatigue as well. So taking days out of the gym, even like today, today doing cardio isn't that much of a physical stress, but it's just the mental thought of just being in a gym today. I'm really not particularly in the mood for that. So if we can just kind of take a step back, take a look at how much work, how many cardio sessions, how many minutes, whatever per week am I trying to do. Sometimes things happen, even if those things are just mentally you want to take a day to regroup and get back on the horse and attack it later. That's worth mentioning, in my opinion, especially in a prep, because we got to see the end of the season in sight. I'm within 10 weeks, and that's from show number 1. I am, as of now, planning on doing multiple shows this year. So it's not just about getting to show number 1. It's about hitting show number 1, and then when show number 1 is done, not being like, dude, I'm done. I can't keep going. Like, I want to keep going. And especially as someone who is self-coached, it can be difficult to give myself the permission to do that. Because I'm always going to have that little voice in my head that's saying, you're taking the day off today, you're being lazy, your competition is catching up on you and they're going to beat you and everything. But I just have to trust that I can see the longevity of the season in sight, and that today is one of those things where you're kind of thinking about taking one step back in order to take 2 steps forward. And I don't even know if that's necessarily a good metaphor, because I wouldn't consider moving a cardio session from today to tomorrow, taking a step back. But it's, I guess, the overall premise around seeing the long-term scope of the program pan out. That helps, or whether it's the great night of deja vu. Start the day on the treadmill and end the day on the treadmill as well. This is actually the third time that I have tried to record this segment. The first time I filmed it while I was walking on the treadmill, and then I realized I never hit the record button. And then the second time I recorded it and ran out of storage midway through. So I have already, done the walking, and this is the third time that I'm filming this now. Back from Avatar. Avatar was really good. It was really long. We kind of knew that, obviously, heading into the movie. These movies are always super long, but, sometimes you see a long movie and it goes by kind of quick. And then sometimes you see a long movie and it feels like a long movie. And, the last like 30 to 45 minutes of the movie, I was kind of like, okay, we can kind of wrap this one up. But it was still a really good movie. I would assume that most of you guys have probably seen at least one of the Avatar movies. And I think that they're just like technical feats of excellence, you know what I mean? Like with the special effects and everything, they're just like amazing to watch. And we saw it in 3D. I had not seen a 3D movie in a long time, but I was telling Carissa this. I feel like the last time that I had seen a 3D movie or 3D movies, I felt like they did use the 3D, but just not as much as what they could have. And this movie, from like start to finish, like the whole thing was like 3D, like in your face. So it was really, really cool. I felt like they took like full advantage of the technology. So it was a really good movie and a great experience seeing it in 3D. The movie theater is connected to a shopping mall, and there's a GNC inside of the shopping mall. And so we stopped into that GNC before the movie so that I could get some snacks to have during the movie. I just macro swapped. If you guys have seen my full day of eating videos, I have one of my meals is a shake. It's like whey and milk and oatmeal and fruit, and I just kind of macro swapped that for two protein bars or protein snacks. I got the Legendary Foods protein donuts. The cinnamon flavor, they only had the vanilla and the cinnamon, but I've been wanting to try those, and they had them there. So I grabbed a pack of the cinnamon ones, which were okay. They're like the Pop-Tarts. If you've had the pastries, it's the same company that makes the tasty pastries or whatever they call them, Legendary Pastries. The donuts just tasted like the Pop-Tarts. I felt like it's the same like dough or whatever. They just put it in like a circular form. So if you like the Pop-Tarts, you'll like the donuts. And then I got the Bear Bells brownie batter bar, which was delicious. I had the peanut butter and jelly one like 3 weeks ago, and that one is filled with jelly. And I thought it was really good. I really liked the filling. And then when I saw the brownie batter one come out and see that that one was filled, I was like, man, that looks awesome. And I can confirm that it was. So I fit those in the macros. And then the movie theater had a Coke Freestyle machine, which we probably filled up like 5 or 6 times. Definitely got our money's worth for the price that we paid for the drink at the Freestyle machine. Anyways, like I said, today has been a complete rest day. Like I said earlier, today's a complete rest day. Much needed. Really nice just to not be in a gym today, and I'm really tired. Obviously haven't really done much today. Kind of walked around the mall and then sat in a really long movie. Just finished up my last little bit of steps, but I'm super tired and sore, particularly my glutes. those hard posing sessions that I did, one of the things that Justin was drilling me on with all of my back and side poses was glutes, glutes, glutes. So I was flexing the hell out of my glutes lately. And then yesterday I did, stiff legs and abductors and hack squats and everything. So glutes are pretty sore. So I'm going to eat my second to last meal here. We'll take the dog out for her last walk of the night. And then I'll probably, just being fully honest, I will probably smoke a bowl and then take a Epsom salt bath. And then by the time I get out of the Epsom salt bath, I'll be pretty exhausted. So the goal is to get to bed early tonight. I kind of said at the beginning of the day that tomorrow was kind of looking like a little bit of a slower work day so far. So I would like to kind of take full advantage of the day, and I'm already feeling pretty tired tonight, so why not go to bed a little early, hopefully wake up a little earlier tomorrow, and then I'll train first thing in the morning, and then get back from training at a decent time, and then get work done, and then get done with work at a decent time, and then be able to go to Planet Fitness and do the cardio session that I moved from today to tomorrow, and just get a really good start to the week. When my body is feeling really tired, I like to take advantage of that when I can and just try and end the day early, get to bed early, if anything, wake up earlier the next day and get a head start on the next day. So that would be the plan. And if I go to bed early tonight and I get 10 hours of sleep and I still wake up at normal time tomorrow, then that would be a good problem to have as far as I'm concerned. If my body needs that much sleep, then I'd like to give it that much sleep. What's up, guys? Monday morning. It's about 8:30 on Monday. And as you can see, we are en route to the gym. As expected, I got a great night of sleep last night. I think I was in bed. I was definitely in bed before 9:30. So let's just say between like 9 and 9:30. And I woke up at 6:30 this morning. Only woke up one time in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and fell asleep right away. So let's say like a solid 8.5 hours of sleep. So I got a really good night of sleep. My soreness levels are noticeably better today, and I haven't even really done that much movement. And I know that once I kind of get moving and once I kind of get some blood flowing and everything, get on the treadmill, push and pull the sled a little bit to warm up, my body's gonna feel really good. If my body feels good cold, it's gonna feel really good once I get moving and once I get warm. We are doing full body A today, which is the beginning of a new rotation. In case there's anybody who is new here, I do full body training every other day, and I have 4 training sessions, A, B, C, and D. So obviously starting A is what I would consider to be the beginning of a new rotation. For me, a rotation is 8 days. If I have, 4 training sessions and then I have a rest day in between each one, that's an 8-day cycle or an 8-day rotation. It takes me 8 days to rotate through the workouts one time. If somebody had, say, let's say they were doing upper lower, 2 on, 1 off, and they had 2 rotations, like upper A, lower A, rest, upper B, lower B, rest. 1 rotation would take 6 days. So I know that in hypertrophy, it's really common where people talk about like sets per week and how many times per week. And so people kind of get caught up in these constructs of like week, how much volume per week, frequency, but we're not limited unless your split is set up in a way to where you have specific days like of the week. Monday is upper, Tuesday is legs, whatever. Unless you have like specific structured days of the week, I don't think we need to really focus so much on the construct of a calendar week in terms of our training. Again, me having an 8-day rotation, or the upper lower example that I gave, having like a 6 days to get through 1 rotation, that obviously doesn't line up with the traditional calendar approach of a week, but that doesn't, really affect anything in terms of, well, I guess maybe it does affect things like in terms of volume and frequency, but in my particular case with full body training, where I'm hitting everything every time that I step into the gym, it doesn't really apply that much to me personally in this particular scenario. What full body A is for me is hopefully usually the session that I get all of my Smith machine work done for the entire week, the entire rotation. So out of the 4 workouts that I do, I currently have 3 exercises that I do on the Smith machine, mid-incline Smith press, the JM press in the Smith machine for my triceps, and then I'm doing what I call the TNF row, which is a chest supported Smith machine row that I saw TNF. He's kind of the one that popularized it, I guess. So I call it the TNF row, and my gym is great and we have a lot of great stuff, but we only have one Smith machine, and the Smith machine can be hard to get on some days. Today is Monday, and I don't know if there's any actual correlation to this, but stereotypically a lot of people are doing like chest and stuff on Mondays. So it's not uncommon for the Smith machine to have a difficult, me to have a difficult time to get the Smith machine. So hopefully I can get the Smith machine today, and then in the days where I do get the Smith machine, I just knock out all 3 of those exercises, the 2 presses in the row. I just bang those out back to back to back, and then I can rest assured knowing that the rest of the rotation, I don't have to fight anybody or fight time trying to get the Smith machine. So hopefully the Smith machine is open today, and then I can knock out all of the Smith machine work for the rotation. But if it's not, then I just rotate the chest and tricep movements around. So, I've got 4 workouts. Each workout has a chest movement and each workout has a tricep movement. And on paper, I do have them planned out where, I do this exercise on this day and this on a different one. But in the instance where I go to use an exercise and it's taken, I'll just, take one of the exercises from a different workout and I'll flip-flop them. So let's say that the Smith press is, the Smith machine is taken today and I can't do the chest and tricep movement that I want to do here. I'll do maybe the chest and tricep movement from the B workout, and then in 2 days time when I go to do the B workout, hopefully the Smith machine is open then, and then I'll just do the Smith machine work then. So basically just trading the exercises from workout to workout. I'd like to get 4 different chest and 4 different tricep movements done by the end of a full rotation, but as far as which movement goes on which day, I've become less and less particular about that. I've had a lot of instances, I've been following full body training for over 2 years now, so we're kind of getting into a point where there's been a lot of times where I've had to kind of mix things around, and I find really in the grand scheme of things, it really does not make too much of a massive difference where the movements go throughout the week. So I just try not to get too caught up in that, and I just let the flow of the gym kind of dictate what I'm gonna do. If we lived in a perfect world, or if I had a home gym or a private gym, then yes, for sure, I would obviously always do the same exercises on the exact same workout just to have that insane robot-like consistency. But I train in a public gym, so I want to have as much consistency as I possibly can, but there also has to be a certain level of flexibility where if things are taken or if things are broken out of order, you can kind of swap things in and out. So I see each individual exercise as a puzzle piece. I've got 4 workouts, and let's say that there's 13 exercises on each one. That comes out to 52 total exercises that I do during the week, and I basically think of that as a puzzle piece with a puzzle with with 52 pieces, and not necessarily true to a real puzzle, because with a real puzzle they have to go a certain way, but so maybe that's a poor example. But basically, like, as long as, let's think of it as like a deck of cards or something, I don't know, and 52 is actually a perfect number in that case. By the end of one rotation, I want to have drawn or played every card in the deck, but I'm not really so concerned about playing all the cards in the same order every week. If I can't. If I could, I would, but obviously, again, public gym, you got to just concede what you can and take the level of flexibility. And I think it's important to be able to do that, like, mentally. If you're going in the gym, if I was going in the gym today, like, I need the Smith machine to be open, like, literally the whole workout, I'm going to be looking at the Smith machine and be like, no one better ever get in that Smith machine. And that, this is a public gym. Like, I can't, as much as I wish it was my gym and my gym alone, it's not. So you have to be able to share things and be a productive member of society.
Hello, I am eating chicken. Would you like to eat some chicken with me? It's 4:30 in the afternoon. We are back from training. I came back from training, worked, did check-ins, and then after I did the check-ins, I had some on and end client work things to finish up, and then I just did the dishes, prepped some beef. I put my beef in the Instant Pot for that to cook. I'm completely out of beef, so I got to get that cooked today. And then we're eating this meal, and then we are going to go to Planet Fitness to do cardio. I'm going to make up that cardio session that I didn't do yesterday. And then from there, I'll come home, prep my meals for tomorrow, have meal number 5, take the dog out for a walk, probably take an Epsom salt bath, and then go to bed. I'm super tired today, so let's kind of pick up with that, because the last time that I had talked with you guys was training on the way to the gym. So I was kind of mentioning on the way to the gym that I was feeling pretty good and got a good night of sleep last night. Feeling pretty good, and that was the case. I wouldn't say today's workout was bad by any means, but at the midway point, so I mean, like, almost the direct midway point, right at the point where I had done all of my lower body work and I was just getting into my upper body work, my energy levels just completely died off, and basically everything, all of my upper body exercises, like the entire second half of the workout, everything was down 1 rep. I think 2 of the exercises I held, but everything else was down a rep. So my energy just completely tanked in the middle of the workout today. And I was feeling fine at the beginning. Everything at the beginning, like the leg stuff, was really good, but something just happened, like, right around the time that I got on the leg press, where I just kind of started to feel super tired. And then from there, man, I was just running on fumes. My posing that I did after training, I felt like I wasn't even getting anything out of it. I had, like, a brain fog. I was, like, putting my feet in weird places and stuff. It was really weird. So it's just that time. I've kind of been noticing that type of fatigue has kind of been settling in mostly over the course of the last week, and obviously as I kind of start to get into the low 180s and the body fat levels and everything kind of start to get low, there just comes a certain point in the prep where there's going to be an ever-present amount of fatigue, and I think I'm just kind of getting to that point. And that's fine. You know what? Like that's the name of the game. I've done this before. I knew what I was signing up for. And if I kind of think back from the first year, I think it was kind of maybe around this time, like maybe around the, I don't know, the 8 to 10 week mark. I'd have to really like dig back in my notes and maybe rewatch the old prep series and everything. But probably right around the 8 to 10 week out mark last time is when it kind of started to get noticeably harder. So that tracks with where we are. So with where we are. So that's just going to be part of the process going forward, and I'm really trying not to let it change much of the process. I still have to keep digging, even though I'm nearing the weight cap. When I get to the weight cap at 176, I'm probably not going to be lean enough at 176. So I'm going to have to keep going no matter what. So there comes a certain point where, obviously I do have to keep managing fatigue. I don't want to break down at like 4 weeks out, 5 weeks out, but there's going to have to be a certain degree of pushing and pulling that is happening. Today is a push day, not with like the weight workout isn't push, but it's a day where we're pushing for fat loss. I guess I should explain what I mean by like pushing and pulling. Pushing is obviously eating in a deficit, doing steps and or cardio, pushing for fat loss. And then pulling is doing the opposite. That would be like the high days. Eating more, doing less, just kind of focus on easing off the gas and allowing the body and the mind to recover. So just kind of balancing the amount of days where you're pushing and pulling. I'm not at a point in prep yet where I can have, equal amounts of pushing and pulling. I still have to get leaner, so there's got to be, more days where I'm pushing for fat loss than pulling back. But I keep saying I have to make sure that I don't get into the habit of either having too many of the pushing days in a row to where I dig myself into a hole that's hard to get out of, and then vice versa, not having enough of the pushing days and being too lenient with pulling back. So that's just kind of the tightrope that we walk with self-coaching. Going back to the work that I was doing earlier, I said that I kind of had some odd and end things to tie up. Let me give you guys an example of like what odd and end like type of stuff would be for an online coach. So today, one of my clients has recently had a new position at work that has been higher stress, and he's just having like more of his time is being spent actually doing things. And on a normal day, he would eat 3 meals at work. But we've kind of noticed lately that he's having a hard time getting 3 meals in. He can really only get time to sit down and have 2 meals. So today I took that third meal and I just made an alternative to it for a shake. If it's a work day, on a normal day, if he could have 3 food meals there, I want him to get the food meals. But if it's a day where he has to do 2 food meals and a liquid-based meal, then we have to have an option for that. So I updated his document, the document that I share with all my clients to have his meal plan in there. I added that alternative in there. And then I also have another client who competes in about 2.5 weeks, and up until this point, we have been practicing his posing routine for 30 seconds. The OCB website kind of had it on their website that their posing routines were going to be 30 seconds long, and then he just got an email from the promoter of the show that's saying that they're going to be 45 seconds long. So we kind of found the 45-second segment of the song that he's going to be posing to instead of the 30-second segment. And then what I was doing today was basically making the video file, because for those of you guys who have never competed before, when you register to compete, you get access to a portal. Like, let's say you compete in the NPC or the OCB, you get basically you make a member account for the OCB or the NPC portal, and then your shows that you're registered for are in there, and then you have to upload like audio files for the music that you're gonna post to. So, one of the things that I do as a coach is I just kind of manage as much of that back end stuff as I possibly can. I just kind of want the athlete to tell me what song they want to post to, what 30 or 45 to 60 second like segment of the song do they want, and then I'll make the video file, and you can upload it into the portal and everything. So that's, I guess those would be some examples of like odd and end things. They're not like full blown check-ins. I check in with each client once a week unless they're like in prep. And then obviously within prep, as they get closer and closer to the show day, that we may check in a little bit more frequently. But the average client I'm only checking in with once per week. And then if there are teeny tiny adjustments, like the meal plan thing that I had just mentioned, then those little like odd and end things, I always get my check-ins done for the day first. So like, today's Monday, I always check in with everybody. That Monday is their check-in day for me first, and then I take care of all the odd and end stuff kind of second. That is a little bit more secondary. The people who are checking in with me on that respective day, they always get like primary focus. But I've got like levels of client work. There's the check-ins, which is primary focus number one from the minute that I wake up. Obviously today being an exception, is like check-ins, 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 check-ins. And then after that, it's other client work, but it's kind of stuff that's maybe a little bit more secondary. Or if I have new guys or girls that have signed on and I'm starting to build their programs and meal plans and stuff, I'm usually doing it like during that secondary work block period. Happy Wednesday. What's up, guys? Today has been a really good day, actually. Very busy day. We're coming up on about 3:30 in the afternoon. Feeling really light today. My body weight is at like baseline. I don't have the exact number off the top of my head, but it's kind of been in like the 181 to 182, but I feel very, very lean. I feel like the scale weight is not an accurate representation of what my body weight actually is, and my spidey senses indicate that I may hit a new low sometime soon. But so I kind of woke up feeling pretty light and feeling kind of small, but feeling lean. I could see some like lines in my glutes when I was doing some posing in the mirror and everything. So that is a good sign. Despite the fact that I felt pretty light, I actually had pretty solid energy levels this morning. And I kind of got out of bed and I got some work done right away. Just like a literal recap. Woke up, did check-ins here in the office, moved the computer into the kitchen and had breakfast. And while I was eating breakfast, I was doing check-ins. And then I came into the office and was doing check-ins from the desk here, the standing desk, the walking desk. I guess I've got two desks in here. The walking one where I was walking on the walking pad and doing check-ins, and then back to
the other desk beside me in the office to finish stuff up there, and then had another meal. And then after that meal, we have a Dollar General. For those of you in the Midwest United States, you guys will know about the Dollar General. We have a Dollar General that's right up the road from us here. I ran out of Jell-O pudding mix for my Greek yogurt at night. Oh no! Anyways, I had to walk up to Dollar General to get the Jell-O mix, and then while I was there, I got I wish I still had the bottle, but the new Mountain Dew Zero Sugar Baja flavor. It's like a Cabo citrus something. They had that, and so I grabbed that, and that was okay. Did a little taste test for TikTok, but came home from Dollar General, prepped my meals for tomorrow, so everything is done there. Did the dishes. I feel like I'm permanently doing dishes as a bodybuilder, and then I actually have spent the last like 15 minutes answering questions on an Instagram Q&A. I've been really happy with the turnout of my last 2 Instagram Q&As. There was a point, man, I went like 5 or 6 Q&As where I was like putting up the Q&A post on Instagram and like would maybe get 1 question or get no questions. It was honestly like kind of demoralizing. So I kind of got away from doing the Q&As for a little bit on Instagram, and I did one maybe a couple weeks ago, and then I did doing another one today, and so far that one's had a pretty good turnout to it. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm thankful that people are interacting with the Instagram Q&As, and that obviously gives me some content to post on TikTok and everything as well. So I guess that may be another tip for those of you guys who are content creators. And for those of you guys who like follow me specifically, you may notice that some of the things that I talk about in these long vlogs, I post on TikTok, Instagram, or both. And that's a good way to make your content help you make more content. Like just to have one, like, I guess, like big form thing that you do. For me, it's like the vlogs or something like that, and then you can take little pieces of that and kind of post that throughout the week on the other social media outlets. But yeah, good turnout on the Instagram Q&A, and hopefully now that the initial round of questions have been answered, and as people start to see the stories, then more questions will come in. And obviously the more questions that get asked, the more opportunities there are for content. So I've been doing that, wrote out the logbook for tomorrow, wrote out my to-do list for tomorrow. Basically what we need to do yet is I'm gonna have another meal probably in like 20 to 30 minutes, and by that point Carissa will be off work. We will head to Planet Fitness and do another 20 minutes of cardio. Normally don't do cardio 2 days in a row, but did yesterday's cardio was to make up for the day that I moved on Sunday. So we'll be back at Planet Fitness. Start off with maybe 20 to 30 minutes on the treadmill just to get some steps in and edit videos on my phone. I probably look like a geek as I'm sitting there on the treadmill at Planet Fitness just editing videos, and then we'll get on the elliptical for 20 minutes of actual cardiovascular activity, and then we'll be back home. I'll have another meal at some point, and then I would like to trim my body tonight. I'm probably not even going to be able to see. Kinda. Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly hairy. Getting to the point now where like the hair is starting to block some visuals, especially around like my midsection and like glutes and hamstrings and everything. So got to get that cleaned up so that we can get a little bit more fair of an assessment of where we're at. So hopefully I can get that done tonight. Otherwise, that's been on my to-do list to get done by the end of the week. What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday night. It's probably like 9 o'clock. Right now it was about 8:30 or so. Right when I brought the dog in. So probably about 9 o'clock right now. Today was a day that I kind of just wanted to get through and then fill you guys in about at the end of the day. I had a great training session today, which I'll get into the details in a little bit, but if you had told me at the beginning of the day that I was going to have a great training session today, I would have told you that you are full of shit. I woke up feeling exhausted today, just very, very tired. I felt like I got a good night of sleep last night. I didn't particularly feel like, I didn't sleep well. I was really tired when I went to bed last night, and I felt like I fell asleep right away. But still, one of those days, woke up feeling physically tired and sore. Upper back and hamstrings were sore. Mentally kind of tired, like had some brain fog while I was getting started with working. Just kind of took a couple of cups of coffee and then energy drink pre-workout and everything to kind of get woken up and get moving. I was really proactive about my day today. I did a lot of my work this morning while I was on the walking pad. So I already had my 6,000 steps like for the day hit by the time that I got to the gym to start my lift. So I kind of had my day set up to where I didn't really have to do much steps after training. So that was nice, but just kind of a tiring morning. And then when I got to the gym and I got moving, I had a great training session, and I wouldn't say that I felt amazing during the training session, but it was a really, really good workout. So I'm happy with the way that everything went. I'm pretty sure that I had progression across the board on every single exercise. I think the only exercise I didn't progress on today was the overhead tricep extension, and I kind of rushed my warm-up sets on that. My weight this morning was, to be honest, I don't even remember, but I feel like I'm gonna hit a new low like sometime soon. I feel very light is really the only way to describe it. My post-workout posing today, I was super happy with. I did end up doing a body trim yesterday. I never followed up with you guys since last night. I did end up doing a full body trim, and I feel like that always makes me look noticeably leaner. Usually if my hair is long enough to the point where I've got to trim it, it's to the point where it's like covering some definition. So I did the body trim last night, and I was really happy with the way that I looked after training. But man, it was a tough and tiring day. I've really noticed lately that the morning is the hardest part. Like the first 2 hours of the day, just getting up out of bed, getting moving, getting working. And once I can get the ball rolling, metaphorically speaking, I can kind of just keep myself going, whether it's through like coffee or, whatever. But it's just easy for me once I get started to keep going, but getting started can be tough. I feel like I almost need to get out of bed and just walk directly to the walking pad or something. Just like don't even give myself time to sit there and think about getting moving. Because again, once I get moving, and once I kind of, especially like I had said earlier, like I spent a lot of today on the walking pad and working, and I felt like I was, in a good groove with that. So I don't know, maybe I need to do more of that, but I feel like I just struggle to get myself going, and then once I can get myself going, the ball just kind of keeps rolling. So that will be maybe that will be the task for tomorrow. My to-do list for tomorrow seems like it is a mile long. I have to prep some chicken. I have to do cardio, of course. I have to do an injection. I have a full day of check-ins. I'm really behind on editing this vlog. If you guys are watching this vlog on like a Saturday or a Sunday, if I get it uploaded by this weekend, it'll be a miracle because I'm really behind on getting this edited. I'm gonna have to really grind and get that done. I'll probably talk about this more like tomorrow or Friday. But my parents are going to come over on Saturday, so that is really exciting, but that takes away my Saturday work day, so I have to get this edited by Friday, so I have to find time this week to get that done. I know that there are other things that I'm missing. We have to get groceries tomorrow, have to do laundry tomorrow, and we have the exterminator coming tomorrow. We have kind of noticed some bugs in the apartment. We have an exterminator that routinely comes, but we have lived in our apartment building for 5 years now, and we've never once had issues with bugs. We've never needed to. The way that it works is our property manager puts a sheet on the door, and if we need the exterminator to come in and exterminate, then we fill out the sheet. We've never filled out the sheet once in 5 years. But this month we have noticed some bugs, and our neighbors have noticed bugs too. Other people have been complaining about it to her, which is why she's like proactively getting the exterminator to come out. So we're gonna have the exterminator come tomorrow on top of all of those things. So tomorrow I feel like writing out my to-do list for tomorrow, it was like a mile long. So I feel like there's just like a ton of stuff that needs to get done tomorrow. So I need to get to bed. I need to take a shower. I haven't even showered yet after training. I literally came home. Here's how today's gone. Woke up, worked on the treadmill, ate breakfast, took the dog out, came back in, worked again on the treadmill, and then eventually sat down at the actual desk and finished work from there, and then had pre-workout meal. Prepped my meals for tomorrow, went to the gym, trained, came home from the gym, and immediately just started editing not only the training session to post, but also this vlog. I did finally get it started on Wednesday, but obviously still have a lot of time to catch up, and then had another meal, took the dog out again, and here we are, just kind of finally winding down, and I'll take a Epsom salt bath and a shower after I wrap up this video clip and then get to bed. I'm tired, of course, obviously. Tomorrow's kind of looking like it may shape up to be another whirlwind of a day, so tomorrow may be another day that I kind of fill you guys in at the end of the day with what's going on. Maybe from this same exact spot. I'm actually in Carissa's office right now. She's kind of got this nice little corner set up for relaxing. I don't know. I feel like I maybe use it a little bit more than she does, but that's besides the point. What's up, guys? Happy Thursday. As I expected and kind of predicted in yesterday's video, today was a crazy busy day. So let's just do like a lightning recap, because tomorrow is going to be a very busy day too. And I'm exhausted, so just trying to wrap this day up and then get after it tomorrow. So woke up this morning, did the laundry right away. I kind of planned for that because, as expected, the morning is kind of tough. I just got to get myself going, so I used the laundry kind of as an excuse to get myself going. So got the laundry in, did some check-ins, had breakfast, finished up with check-ins, was basically doing laundry in between all of that, put some chicken in the Instant Pot. Around that time, the exterminator came. He was actually a really cool guy. He kind of looked like he was about my age. I'm 29, if anybody cares. I don't know if that really means anything, but he kind of looks like he was around my age, and super cool guy. He definitely takes his job very seriously. He was like, we got to get these bugs out of here today, and he was kind of explaining the process and everything to me, which that's probably the one thing that I respect the most in other people, not just men, but other people, is, you know, whether they take what they do seriously. So he was a cool guy. He made the exterminator coming a enjoyable experience. From there, ran some errands, got some groceries, came home. My parents are going to be coming out and staying with us for the day on Saturday. So kind of did some cleaning around the apartment just to kind of get ahead of that. We've got some more cleaning and stuff that we'll do tomorrow, but tomorrow's going to be another busy day for me. So I was just trying to get ahead of some of that. Prepped some rice, spent a good chunk of time editing this vlog, and I'm all caught up with this now, so it's looking like I'm gonna get this out on schedule, even with my parents coming out on Saturday, so super happy about that. And then we just got back from Planet Fitness from doing cardio, so it's been a super busy day, and tomorrow's gonna be another busy day. I've got 2 posing sessions, Zoom, right away in the morning, back to back, for 2 clients who are going to be competing. One of them is 10 weeks out, and then one of them is 2 weeks out. So exciting posing calls going down in the morning. And then I've got a full morning of check-ins. Friday is actually my busiest check-in day this week, it's looking like. So we have like a super busy check-in shift tomorrow. Sometime around while I'll be doing check-ins, we're gonna have groceries delivered. Right now we're kind of experimenting with Walmart Plus, which is where you pay like $12 a month, which comes out to $3 a week. And you basically get like free deliveries, $35 and over. You do have to tip the driver, but it really comes out to like $3 a week. And even when you include the tip of the driver, at least for now, our time to drive and the gas money to drive to the grocery store and take the time to go through and get the groceries and maybe get distracted and spend money that we don't need to spend on other things, whereas we just pick on our phone and have the groceries delivered. It's been like a game changer for us. Like I do go run errands, but really for the things that we can't get at Walmart. So we're gonna have a big grocery delivery come tomorrow while I'll be doing all the check-ins. I need to finish up editing this vlog and then get it rendered and hopefully uploaded, because the prep vlogs are gonna be, up until this point, I've been starting them on Sundays, and then ending them on Saturday. But I'm going to be starting them on Saturday now and ending them on Friday night, because technically, like, the Saturday mornings are the day that signifies like the transition between like 9 to 8 weeks or 8 to 7 weeks, etc. So tomorrow will be the last day of filming, and then filming on Saturday will start the 9-week out prep vlog video. So by tomorrow I have to obviously finish filming, but also get the video edited, rendered, uploaded, etc. We have to finish cleaning up the apartment and, you know, taking out the trash and stuff like that, just little odd and end stuff. And then amidst all of that, I still have to train. Tomorrow is full body C. I'm feeling optimistic about tomorrow's training session. I was 180.6 this morning, which is like 0.4 pounds away from a prep low. And I have basically told myself that I'm going to hold off on doing any high days until I get below 180 pounds. At this point in the prep, I have not seen a 170 something weigh-in. My prep low at the moment is 180.2. So I've been super close to breaking out of the 180s, but I haven't actually broken out of the 180s yet. So I do want to at least see one weigh-in below 180 pounds, preferably before I do my next high day. So we'll see, I guess, what I wake up at tomorrow. And then maybe tomorrow will be a high day, maybe it won't. And then obviously Saturday, with my parents coming out, I've already like kind of pre-planned where we're gonna go to eat and what I'm gonna order, so I kind of have my macros and everything kind of planned out for that. Today's been a busy day, and tomorrow will be another busy day, but I like it like that. I feel like this whole week, basically every day has kind of been a whirlwind day where I wake up and then next thing you know, the day is over, and that's kind of making, you know, the week go by fast. It's making prep, I don't want to say like more manageable, but if I was sitting around bored all day waiting until the next meal, I mean, this would probably be more difficult than it already is. So I'm grateful to be busy. A life that is spent being busy like all day is better than a life of having nothing to do. So I'm grateful, and even though it's really tiring, I'm excited to keep doing it. Oh man, what's up, guys? Happy Friday. It is, I mean, Friday is almost over. It's 11 o'clock at night. It is 11 p.m. Uh, Listen, guys, I feel like I've done a lot of complaining on this week's vlog as I've kind of gone through the vlog and I've been editing it for this week. You know, I've kind of been thinking, man, like, dude, you're kind of complaining a lot. And you know, I don't know if I'm complaining or if I'm just documenting my experience and just kind of straight up telling you guys like how I'm feeling and kind of how the week has gone. But if there is ever a day for this week where I feel like the complaining is deserved, it would be today. Now today it has actually been a great day. Now that the day has ended, I truly feel, I really feel like today is going to be a turning point moment in the prep. So, you know, let's get the negative out of the way, and then we can kind of get into the positives. So I'm going to try so hard to not get sidetracked on this, but this has just been a true test of a day. So woke up this morning to a new low, which was great. I've kind of been mentioning all week that I've been feeling that this was going to be coming soon. And sure enough, it came this morning. I weighed 179.2 this morning. That is my first weigh-in this entire prep that I've been sub 180 pounds. And in routine with what I have been doing and what I had kind of, I guess, committed to myself with wanting to get out of the 180s before I did a high day, I have been hitting a new low body weight, refeeding on that low body weight, which coincidentally the last 4 times has just so happened to be on a training day. Today was a training day. And so the refeed that took place on a training day. I will refeed from hitting a new low, usually gain. Lately it's been 1.5 pounds with 600 grams of carbs. And then from there, I will dip down into another new low that was lower than the previous one. So say I'm just going to hit solid numbers. Let's say I hit 182 and then I refeed and go up to 183.5. I would dig down to, like, say 181 or below. I wouldn't go back down to 182. I would dig back down lower than where I had refed at. And I had just kind of been repeating that process. Hit a new low, refeed, diet down, hit a new low. So kind of like waving up and down, but in the trend of moving down. So woke up, new low. It was a high, so that means it's a high day. So great, that's awesome. As I had also mentioned yesterday, I had 2 posing calls for 2 of my athletes who are in prep right away this morning, and those calls went amazing. I am so over the moon happy with both of those guys. Jackson is 2 weeks out from his first ever show, and he just looks like an all-star. He looks incredible. His posing has been so fluid. The prep isn't even over yet. You know, we're kind of starting to get into the fun part for me as a coach, like the nitty-gritty, as what I like to call it, as we kind of start to get closer. And this has just already been such a fun prep. And no matter what way this ends, like this whole process has just been so enjoyable for me to kind of be a part of that with him. So that has just been going great. It's been so great to kind of pose with him as we're getting closer, and kind of starting to see what it's going to look like on stage day, minus the tan and everything. And I'm so confident. I feel I've been telling him this maybe for like a couple weeks now. I feel like if the show was like tomorrow, I'd be like, sweet, like let's do it. Like he's doing great. And then my client Anthony is 10 weeks out from his first show. And in full transparency, Anthony's prep started super slow. One of those things that just straight up doesn't make sense. And sometimes this happens. Like it's just metabolisms are so crazy. Anthony was a guy that was eating over 5,000 calories at peak off season. And I had him down, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I had him down like probably around like 3,000 calories, which is obviously a tremendous drop from his peak off season. And he was not losing weight. I mean, he was kind of slowly losing weight, but the math wasn't mathing. It wasn't like adding up. But lately, I would say the last like 3 to 4 weeks, he got a treadmill in his home, and he has been hitting a stride like when we needed it, to be honest. Just being straight up honest. Like if we weren't hitting this stride right now, I don't know if we would be on track to make it on time. And I would maybe be suggesting that we look at a different show. But there is still hope now that he's moving along. And then on top of that, as we've been practicing his posing, it's really great kind of working with first timers in my opinion, because when they're so new at like posing, for example, obviously some people can kind of get demoralized by being a total beginner at something like that. But one of the things that's great about being a total beginner like that is you can make improvements very, very, very quickly. You can rapidly like get good at posing. I mean, it's like training. Like if you're a complete newbie to training, you can make like extremely quick newbie gains. Everyone's familiar with that term. That same kind of concept applies to like motor skills and neurological skills, shooting a basketball, da 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 type of stuff. It's like a muscle memory type of thing. Anyway, so it's really cool to work with beginners because in let's say just a 4 week time period, they can make like tremendous improvements, and that's really really awesome to see. So posing calls go great, and it's a high day. And then I sit down to eat breakfast. I have this huge breakfast, as I've kind of been mentioning throughout the series. Like on the high days, I like my biggest carb meal to be my first meal of the day. I normally train after 2 meals, so I like to get a big meal in the morning and then like a smaller meal before I train. So I eat my breakfast. It's a big ass breakfast. And while I am eating my breakfast, my girlfriend Carissa orders her breakfast from Uber Eats or some shit. To be honest, I don't even fucking know like where or how it got to our house, but there's a bagel place that is by us. We love it. It's a locally owned bagel place. They make bagels, obviously, but they have like seasonal bagels and cream cheeses that kind of change like every couple of months. We've been going for a long time. We love their business. My girlfriend ordered 6 bagels, half a dozen bagels, and all of the bagels were bagels that we have ordered and had before. But there was a new seasonal cream cheese that came out this month that she ordered and had that on her bagel for breakfast. And within 20 minutes of eating that, she was coughing, started to violently coughing, like started to break out in, I don't know if they're hives. She's definitely breaking out into welts. She's not looking normal. We are having a conversation and she's having to catch her breath. Like she can't talk normally, so I'm getting worried, and she's obviously getting worried. So long story short, rushed to the emergency room. Everything is okay, thankfully. But this obviously was a really concerning way to start the day, and we ended up being gone for, I don't know, maybe like 3 hours, let's say. I mean, a decent chunk of time. So obviously during that chunk of time, I'm very worried, like very scary. I don't. That's the only really way to say it. Just a very scary way to start the day. Not. This is the least of my worries during this time, but I'm obviously not working at this time, so I message all of my clients that I'm checking in with on Fridays, and I just let them know that I'm in the emergency room and that my responses are going to be delayed and everything. And obviously going through the process of being at the emergency room, and everything is okay, and they take care of her, and we get discharged and everything and come home. So at this point, like the schedule of the day is thrown off quite a bit. And then I feel like from there, it just kind of, I feel like everything just ended up kind of working out like in favor of me from there. Because of that delay, this is where things start to get positive, I guess, and it ends up being a great day. Because of that delay, I did not train after 2 meals. I trained after 3. So I come home from the emergency room. I really haven't done any check-ins at this point in time. And so I eat another meal, which is a pretty big carb heavy meal. And then I had a solid like 2 to 3 hours of work to do. And then I had my normal pre workout meal, which is a very small and light meal, about 50 grams of carbs, chicken, rice, and a little bit of fruit. And then I got to the gym at probably about 6 or 6:30 p.m. and I would normally train at about 2 or 2:30 p.m. So just say like 4 to 4.5 hours, like kind of shifted. But I feel, like I said, I feel like that kind of ended up working out in my favor for the lift because I got an extra meal in. I had a huge intra shake. I had 100 grams of carbs intra workout today, which is the most that I've had in a while. And I'll get into the session in a minute, but it was a crazy session. I was feeling like super energetic even towards the end of training. And then I came home from training and had my normal post workout meal, I don't know, probably half an hour ago. And I've still got some content stuff that I've got to do, and then I'm going to take a shower, but then I'll have my normal last meal and get to bed. So I'm obviously going to get to bed quite a bit later than normal tonight, but everything got done, and nothing got done perfectly, but everything got done. And that really is, some days. I put this in my Instagram caption for today. Today was definitely a day where life threw me a curveball, and I had every excuse. Everything got thrown off. Mentally wasn't in the mood. Obviously, it did end up working out today for me that it was a high day, and I had 700 grams of carbs today, so I actually did feel like quite energetic. So that absolutely like worked out in my favor. But in full transparency, even if it was a normal, like low day, nothing would have changed. I mean, everything would have still gotten done. And today was a day that really tested like how bad do I really want this? And I feel like this is what I missed about prep, and this is like really what I needed. As I said at the beginning of today's segment, this was like a turning point moment in the prep. The prep isn't even over yet, and I already know that this day was a turning point day. When this prep is over, I'm going to look back on this day and I'm going to remember that I got it done today, and I didn't get everything done perfectly. I mean, other than training was awesome. I swear I'll get into that in a second. But as far as just like the setup of the day and everything, like nothing was done perfectly, but everything got done, period. And that's all that matters. And I make a living reminding like clients of this, and it's nice to get the reminder myself to actually put my money where my mouth is and actually live that. Let's say I've got clients who are college students, or they've got busy jobs or whatever, and maybe they start eating a meal and then they get caught up for an hour and then they have to go back and finish the meal. Like, there are going to be days where you can't do it perfectly, but that doesn't mean that you don't do it, period. You still find a way to do it. And really all that matters is that at the end of the day, did you get all the food in? Did you get the training in? Did you get the steps in? Did you get the water in? Like, did you check the boxes? And I checked my fucking boxes today, and I had every reason not to. So I feel very good. And this is the best part about the challenging days is the feeling of self-fulfillment when the day is all over and you get to reflect on everything. Let's touch on training real quick. As expected, today's training session was amazing. I had great energy levels. My experience and thought process on the high days and refeeds is I don't know if it's changing, but it's evolving this year. Typically, I would do my high days and my refeeds on a rest day. I do still think on paper it makes more sense to do them on rest days. Obviously, today's workout went great, but if I ate 700 grams of carbs, there's obviously some of those that got burnt off from the workout. And if the true purpose of the refeed is to eat carbs, store glycogen so that you can use that in the upcoming sessions, then it does make more sense on paper to do the high days on a rest day. But it has just so happened to work out that I've been hitting my low days on training days. If I were to wake up to a new low on a rest day, I would most certainly do a high day on a rest day. But it has just so happened to work out that the high days have fallen on training days. So I've just been doing them on training days. In mention of what I've kind of talked about with the previous high days, all of my previous high days have been 600 grams of carbs, and all of those I've gained 1.5 pounds. And so today was 700 grams of carbs, as I mentioned. I think that was in like last week's prep vlog series, because this is actually the first high day that I've done in a while, this week at least. So all of my previous high days were 600 carbs, and then today was 700, literally just to make up that extra 100 grams of carbs. I did 25 intra, 25 in my breakfast, 25 in the meal that ended up being meal 2 today, but would normally be meal 4. And then another 25 in the post. I did notice today that I had a little bit more, actually, it was noticeably more acid reflux. So I think that I need to get some Pepsin HCl tablets for the next high day. Today's high day ends up being about 4,700 calories, and that is, for me, I've noticed in my off seasons, once my calories get around 4,500 and higher, that's when I start to get issues with acid reflux, and I need to start supplementing with betaine HCl, which is essentially just stomach acid. Real quick, the reason why the acid reflux happens is the more food that you eat, the more that your stomach muscles have to contract to move that food, through the digestive system. The more that the muscles are contracting, it creates air in your stomach, which forces its way either up, like out your esophagus through belching and or pushing the acid up your stomach, or out, through farting. So the more that you're eating, the more that your stomach muscles are working, which creates more air in your stomach, which needs to come out somehow. And as it is creating air in your stomach, the stomach acid is getting pushed up, back up through the esophagus, and that's where the acid reflux comes from. So by supplementing with stomach acid, you provide more stomach acid into the stomach so that those muscles don't have to contract as much, which doesn't create as much air buildup and keeps the stomach acid in the actual stomach. So that's a pretty staple off-season supplement that I'll use once my calories get above 4,500. But up until this point, I haven't really needed to use that in prep. But I think I'm going to need to get some of those for the next high day that I do. My parents are coming out tomorrow to stay with us. Man, I'm gonna be exhausted, but I'm really looking forward to seeing them. I don't think I've seen my parents in like, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been too long. I mean, never, uh, there's never a time that's not too long to see your parents. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing them. I'm not really sure what we will get into because I don't know how Carissa's going to feel. Obviously, she was given some medication and then she took a couple of Benadryl right before we left for the emergency room. So she came back from the emergency room and fell asleep, and then I came home from the gym and she's been sleeping. So I just kind of talked to her real quick, and she's feeling good. She's just feeling really tired. So I'm not sure if we'll actually do something tomorrow with my parents or if we'll just kind of hang out here. But it doesn't matter. I'm looking forward to spending time with them. But I need to get to bed so that I can have some energy in order to be able to be present with them. Because this is Friday night and tomorrow, I mean like 10 minutes from now, is going to signify me being 9 weeks out. This is going to conclude this week's vlog. If you guys have made it this far in the vlog, what's a word? What's a word that I should have you guys comment? Comment the word purple if you have made it this far in the vlog. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you are interested in coaching or any of the services that I offer, I have my website in the description below. Please check that out if you're interested. As always, I hope that my videos spark some sort of conversation or questions. And if you have questions or a conversation, then please comment that below. If you're training today, then train hard. And if you're resting today, then rest hard. And if any fucking obstacles get in your guys' way today or tomorrow or whenever, you just fucking laugh at them and you just fucking get your shit done anyways. Take care of yourselves, guys, and we'll see you next week.